Nawang, it's so good talking to you. You're calling in from, are you still in Colorado?
Yeah, I'm in Colorado. And actually, how much time I have?
We're on the air live here now. We have almost 20 minutes to talk. And and I can hear you so beautifully. Thank you. Last time you called, I couldn't hear you well because it was wind blowing. But today I can hear you great. And Nawang, let me just give people a little background on Nawang. Nawang is a Grammy-nominated Tibetan flautist who was a hermit for years in Tibet. And he left Tibet. Actually, you left Tibet in 1959? You left Tibet to 59 to go to India, and it's the Dalai Lama, and you became, he fell in love with your flute playing, and after you went through your hermit stage, you started playing for more and more people, and long story short, next thing you know, you were on tour, and you were touring with the likes of Kitaro and some of the greatest people. You got to go out even with Pearl Jam and U2 and do some of the tours to raise people's awareness about Tibet and what was going on. And we are blessed to be able to have you come this Sunday, April 28th at 3 o'clock to the Mc Coy Theater. And you're going to be there. Keola Beamer will join you for a song or two or three. And there's going to be a movie that was made about your life shown. And tell me about this movie and how this great movie happened.
Yeah, this is a movie actually made by BTN, which means Buddhist Television Network in South Korea. It's one of the largest Buddhist television in the world. And they were so much interested about Tibet and my life, so they decided to make a movie about my life. They came to India and went all the way to the mountain where I used to be monk and hermit meditator. So they filmed the whole thing about those situations in the film, for the film. And then they even came to Colorado, where I live now, and they interviewed me. They went to the Rocky Mountains, and and then after that, they even followed me to Paris.
Oh, really? What were you doing in Paris?
I was doing a concert, which is the Himalayan Festival in Paris. This is the largest Himalayan festival in Paris, and so many events going on, and they asked me to come and perform. So even they filmed about that, my performance there. And then also in the film, there is my performance, which I opened for the first ever Earth Summit of the world. In 1992, I performed for the opening of the Earth Summit in UN General Assembly Hall, and that was one of the greatest honor in my life. So that one also in the film, and then I opened for His Holiness Dalai Lama's many of the public talk, and so it's also in the film that I'm performing for His Holiness Dalai Lama, and Dalai Lama also talking about love and compassion, kindness, which is his most important, one of the most important work he does, apart from religious harmony and for the freedom of Tibet. And then in the film, there is also Richard Gere talking about my life, how he managed to bring me from Australia to I
didn't know that part. I didn't know that part of the story. Did you connect with Richard Gere at a concert or one of the talks or something?
What happened is one of my friends took some of my CD to his friend's shop. The shop was very near to Richard Gere's office on Broadway and Prince Street, and he was playing my music, and Richard Gere time to time come to his shop. It's a Tibetan store, one of the best Tibetan store, and so Richard was listening my song, and he said, "Who is this?" And he said, "It's a Tibetan guy who lives in Australia. This is one of his CD. I have few of them." So he put a few of them, and Richard Gere said, "Oh, that's very interesting." Then he decided to bring me to United States as part of the International Year of Tibet, which was organized by Tibet House, New York.
How wonderful. That is amazing.
Richard Gere was involved with the founding and one of the president, chairman, as well as with Bob Thurman, Uma Thurman's father.
Yes.
He's a professor from the Columbia University. So they together with the Dalai Lama, they founded the Tibet House, New York. So they were putting up the largest concert ever done before for Tibet, Year of Tibet, all over the world. So he asked me to come, and I was so thrilled. I was quite successful in Australia. I was performing in different places. I was touring around, but I never thought I will be able to come to United States because I used to live in Australia, and I have Australian citizen. Now I have also United States citizen.
Good.
So anyway, that's a very special thing happened for me.
Wow. And by the way, we should mention this is the world premiere.
One of the most important classical musician, right? Composer. Philip Glass.
Oh, Philip Glass. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Philip Glass put up so many concerts every year at Carnegie Hall. So I used to live in New York, so he always made me part of that. So I played maybe a dozen times at Carnegie Hall.
That's wonderful.
Thanks for the Tibet House and Philip Glass. He's the now he's the vice chair. Bob Thurman is the chairperson, and Uma Thurman sometimes she helps for Tibet House too. So, yeah, I end up performing so much for the Tibetan, the Tibet House benefit concert. Then there was another concert called Tibetan Freedom Concert, which was organized by Beastie Boys, Adam York, who died now, but he was a great person. So he really put it up, one of the greatest, like a Live Aid show. Huge concert with U2 to, you name it, all the rock musician, pop musician, for 2-3 days.
Wow.
When he put up these concerts. So they always, except the first one, I played in every concert. So that was wonderful for me to get this exposure and work for the Tibetan freedom struggle,
Yeah, it's so important. And His Holiness is such an amazing ambassador of compassion and peace and got the Nobel Peace Prize, but he's trying to cut back. He's had some health challenges, but he's still out there working. So he relies on other people to be the ambassadors, and you're one of those people who are so sweet and well-spoken and do such a great job through music of sharing the message of what is happening. And I know you care very deeply, and sometimes His Holiness doesn't even go to the places that you do as far as mentioning what did happen in Tibet. You know that's true.
I actually performed many times in the prisons too.
Did you?
Security, most tight security.
Wow.
In Colorado, there is called Lemons prison.
Wow.
These are the people who have killed few people, not only one, few people, that kind of prison.
Wow.
I did some workshop with them.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And there was one guy, they told me he is the strongest prisoner in the whole Lyman prison.
Huh.
And his necks are so big, like the Mike Tyson's neck, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
So, and he also came to listen to me, you know, for my workshop. It was given individual choice, whoever want to come.
Uh-huh.
So he came.
I love it.
And I was so touched by that.
Yeah.
And then I hugged every one of them.
Good for you.
I talked to them about the value of love and compassion, whether we are loving and compassion. If we are loving and compassionate person, then even you are inside the prison, but you might still find peace and happiness.
Mm.
But we are ordinary people. We think that we are free outside. But if our heart is not loving and compassion, we might be not able to find peace and happiness.
Yes.
So I said, it doesn't matter. You are with your situation. You are inside prison. But, you know, the key is to love each other, to try to help each other. And to this toughest guy, he wanted to do a one-on-one with me.
Mm. Wow. I love it.
One-on-one with different prisoners.
Oh, I love it.
So, since I knew he was the strongest prisoner, so I made a special appeal to him. Please, would you be able to look after the weaker prisoners?
Mm.
Because I know the weaker prisoners go through so much suffering and they become totally hardened criminal and their life got totally destroyed. So it would be really wonderful if you can give some support, help, protection to these weaker prisoners.
Aww. I love it.
And he said yes.
Aww.
He promised me.
I love it. Well, we have about 3 minutes left, and I want to remind people, this is the world premiere this coming Sunday, the world premiere of this movie. And Supermonk, another great movie that was recognizing at the Tibetan Film Festival, is going to be shown. And I had a great talk with Keola Beamer. He's going to be there, too. He loves you as well. And
thank you.
Yeah, he's wonderful. Isn't Keola wonderful?
I should say a few more words on the film.
Yes.
So I was so carried away with that one thing. The film actually, so it has so much about background of my life. My family in India, my father was alive, and my teachers who are still alive. Of course, my ultimate teacher is His Holiness Dalai Lama. So His Holiness Dalai Lama's teaching on love and compassion also in this film. And so there is a live performance I do for the opening of the UN General Assembly for the Earth Summit and my Paris concert. So it has a story about what happened to Tibet, but also there is a very positive side of the musical side of my music, mainly performing live performance few times, and then playing live in Rocky Mountain, things like that. So it's a fun also and very, very educational about what is Tibet, how it's good for the world. Actually, the preservation of Tibet is good for the world.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Not just only good for Tibet, but good for China too. This will uplift China's image when Tibet becomes free. You know?
I just have to sigh. Do you think that Tibet will ever be free?
So I think it will. I think this new or the present Xi Jinping, he now has the total power.
Mm-hmm.
So now if he wants to uplift his image, he wants to be a great leader in the world. Anybody who gets that opportunity, they want to be seen a great leader, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So this is really his chance. He can give a free Tibet. It may be not an independent country, but it can be autonomous.
Yes.
Which China, officially in their constitution, it says Tibet is autonomous region.
Mm-hmm.
So they can give a genuine autonomy for the Tibet, and Tibet will remain as a part of China, which His Holiness Dalai Lama always said that he is not seeking independence.
Mm-hmm.
He is want to have a cultural, spiritual, religious freedom, and Tibetans to be looked after.
Well, we only have a couple seconds left, so I'm really looking forward to seeing you on Sunday, and people should get tickets by calling 242-SHOW or go to mauiarts.org. It's at the Mc Coy Theater on Sunday at 3 o'clock, and people do not want to miss this experience. It's going to be amazing. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Cindy.
I'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Have a good trip out. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you guys.
Okay, bye.